What is? I'm sorry. You were kind of breaking up on my end.
June 2nd. It's public knowledge. You go on the. You can tell how many people when they stake. It goes on a chart, and there's specific days in the future. Like there's 2034 is going to be epic in the amount of selling that's available for the quad 5 stakes. But coming up on June 2nd, there's going to be one of those big numbers because you look at the chart. It's like low, and then a giant spike. So you know that day is going to be eventful.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Am I right in thinking the T-share price goes up when a lot of stakes end?
That's what it does.
Yeah, because I heard folk in here saying that you get a better price for staking while the coin is low. But I did that recently. I didn't notice a great difference in the T-share price, like regardless of the price of HEX. So I was a little bit curious about that, actually. In fact, I thought it was quite low, really, compared to, I made one stake and I got X amount of T-shares, but then I made a stake for like 4 times the price, although it was a lot shorter. So maybe that's the difference on how many T-shares. Could someone clarify on that?
Bigger and longer always pays better. So if you're always staking for 15 years every week, in 15 years every week, you're going to get shit tons of money.
Yeah,
higher
but
rate than everybody else. The game
as far as
theory.
the T-share is concerned, does the T-share differ depending on how long you stake or how much you stake?
But
okay, so the length does have an effect on the amount of T-share then. Just to clarify, the length of your stake does have an effect on the T-share you get.
That and the interest. There's like a big bump up once you hit the 10 to 15 year mark.
Yeah, the length makes sense for sure. I was just curious.
That's an easy question. Even I can answer stuff like that with certainty.
Okay.
Yep. Where are you from, sir?
Me? Scotland.
Scotland. Never. I've only been through the airport as a transfer out to the war, out to Kuwait. We had to refuel, and they didn't let me leave the airport, but I maybe I can.
You'll have seen some beautiful countryside from the plane.
Yeah, from the plane. Yeah, that's right. Beautiful countryside. I'm living in Arizona right now in the middle of the desert, and it's about to start getting hot. But good to meet you. Well, how long you been in this? How long have you known about Richard Hart now?
I would say about 2 to 3 months.
3 months.
I was a Peter Schiff fan.
Peter Schiff. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Peter Schiff, and then it popped up him and Richard Hart, and I watched Richard fucking destroy him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, Peter, to be fair to him, he's a political figure and he has constituents and lobbyists that pay his bills, and he serves them. He doesn't serve anybody else. And those people pay like for his livelihood, and they pay him to speak that gold is king and it always will be king, on a podium, and give him $75,000. I'm just making up numbers, like right, but you get my meaning. That he serves a higher group of people.
One thing I'll always say is that an investment for gains, gold is not a good investment.
But it's stable. It's stable.
But
It's not. You're not
it's
losing
stable
85% of the
and
value. You're not
well,
losing
see,
85%
the thing is with me and how I approach life is what will be useful when if everything goes to shit.
Yeah,
And
I would
precious
get a rain
metals will
barrel.
always be
A rain
useful.
barrel. If everything goes to shit, I start
Exactly.
buying solar panels.
Guys,
That's
I
why
build a
that's why I
basement,
shoot a
a
longbow.
fallout shelter.
guys, when responding, just shut off your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's why I shoot a longbow, my friend. I'm an essentialist, and gold is one of those things that will always be worth something, even if there's a fucking solar flare that takes out the entire grid.
I would agree with that, except that gold and other precious metals will only be
A lot of
useful if
canned
there's,
foods that survive so you can eat it. That'll also be it's worth its weight in gold. Actually,
Hell yeah.
food like food, yeah, Marmites and stuff stored for long terms where you and it still tastes good, not freezer burn.
Yeah, man. I'm an essentialist.
Yeah, but
Toilet
I'm
paper
ill
will be up
prepared.
there as
I'm
well
ill
on the list.
prepared for the end of the world, my friend. I'm betting that's not going to end. I'm very if it happened, it would happen, but I'm very ill prepared, and I don't know if I'll ever get anything like that, but maybe.
Humanity will end long before the world ends. The world will
Well,
chew us up and spit us out like it has done many times before with many
I'm
other species.
I smoke a lot of hopium in my life to cope. And in this hopium hate days that I get myself into, I feel like Richard Hart is going to launch this thing any day now, and it's not going to be subjected to all the shenanigans that happen in the crypto market. But being a realist, I know that it is going to happen. It's just because there's people with unlimited money that like to toy with stuff.
If I
You think
get
you
a
can get
little
a
bit
quick
esoteric
10x?
here,
Yeah,
then there's a lot of stuff happening in society that is parallel with what's happening with crypto and what RH is doing.
Yeah,
Like
read some news.
There's a
Something
fork.
about they're going to make
You either live in the status
proof,
quo or you choose the parallel way.
right?
And
Proof of work crypto is going to about to become illegal to use. It's going to be
Guys,
it's going to crash the proof of work platform because it's bad for the environment. Who needs to burn coal to mine to make? It's just unbelievable. It freaks me out. I think they should let go of Bitcoin and any proof of work system and say we've evolved. No one who uses an 8-track today. No one. Everybody uses the thing from the cloud. Kind of the similar kind of thing I tell my onboarders. It's like, I know you heard of Bitcoin, but it's really just a waste of energy. It's old tech. And you should just move on to the new tech that's actually good for the environment or non-existent.
absolutely.
It doesn't hurt the environment at all. It's funny money. It's electric money. Why would electric money need energy to burn? I mean, it doesn't. I get it. The guy created it and changed the world, but we've adapted and we've innovated. We moved on to Pulsechain, and now Pulsechain is going to have every coin and even an 18th of a fraction of a whole pulse. We'll never run out of these things. We'll never run.
guys, I just wanted to add one thing, if you don't mind, regarding gold. Just wanted to quickly get back to that. Yeah, watch
Yeah.
out with gold because there is something really interesting. I don't know if you have already watched that, but there is even Richard Hart who had a kind of like an interview forward slash confrontation with Peter Schiff. I don't know if you have watched that. And basically, they were
Yep.
comparing like Bitcoin, Hex, and even the gold. And yes, indeed, if you take even the chart, the chart of the gold, you will see that basically, if you had bought the gold in at the top in 2012, you would have been like basically underwater, which means in loss for about 10 years to only like start to make gain right now. And right now you would have been like only 8% in profit. So not sure. I disagree with you. I don't think it's a good investment, even in terms of stability.
Dude.
know?
I have no money in gold right now, just to make that clear. None, except the very little gold that I own personally.
I have like gold
But it's
rings.
not
I have physical
about
gold.
profit or investment. It's about a very long store of value in precious metals. I'm sorry, much as I'm like all about hex and all the rest of it.
2% up in a year is very exciting for gold people.
It's
8%.
regardless
85% swings. Oh, it hurts your nuts. It hurts so bad. You put in an investment and you're like, this is gonna work out, and it goes up 10x, and then immediately it goes down to like 10% of what you had. You're like, what? Just it's a robots do this thing where they auto buy and then auto crash it, and there's not enough buy pressure to counter the auto bots. And it's just sad but true, because there's no stops, there's no breaks, not like the stock market, not like the SEC. They say, whoa, this thing is going too crazy, turn off. There's none of that here. It's just to watch the roller coaster crash, because the robots at 3 a.m. have control, and they're like, sell, and there's just nobody up in the middle of the business. They're sleeping with their kids and stuff. The bots are immortal. They don't. They're bots.
But are you talking about like for the gold or in general?
Crypto. I'm back to crypto, back to digital currency. I'm
Okay.
saying that everybody that purchases any cryptocurrency, especially Pulse, and just to expect these malicious things to like pump the price and get people on board and hyped and super hyped, and then they just start sell pressure because they want it to have the weak hands say this thing is never going to go up, and dump their little bags at a lower price and then pump the bags even more. It's this weird game. There's no regulation to it. There's nothing.
Oh yeah, of course, yes.
Protect
There is
people
like
from the whale games. To just somebody come in and say, hey, guess what? I have unlimited money and this is cool. Buy. And people that buy along the way, if they don't sell and they get married to it, when that guy is ready to say sell, they're going to be like holding the bag. They're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I just got 85% of my royalties gone. You don't get that in gold. You don't wake up the next day and say, hey, this gold is now only 25% of what it used to be.
Listen,
Yeah, there is more volatility basically.
Yeah, no volatility.
And it's not regulated.
Silver will always be silver, and
Only
it's
getting
all
more valuable
limited.
because the hyper every month. You imagine I'm gonna have to go to a McDonald's and spend $100 in less than 10 years. So crypto is gonna increase in just for that fact. Whether the people buy and sell and drive it down is up to them. It's a free market. But the facts are, it's going to cost $100 to get a value meal. And that's going to be like $400 for 4 values. And it's just going to be ridiculous at how much everything is cost. Because a nickel back 100 years ago meant a lot. That's all I'm saying. Just
Crypto is the future, right? There's no doubt about that. But you cannot underestimate the value of physical assets. So it's like even Richard has spoken about himself, the value of cash. He's even been, like, I watched a podcast recently where he was in Sweden, I think, and they all thought he was going to come and shit on cash, and actually he kind of did the opposite. And it's like in times of war, when everything's shut down, then, cash is king. You know what I mean? I would argue barter and skills and stuff like that are king. And that's where,
cash is definitely king.
Cash is trash, really.
Cash is trash, but thank God I have a method of using other people's money to spend, and then I pay them back before the 30-day mark. I don't do transactions. Use the credit card. I just want my credit card company to accept my crypto as payment.
Yeah.
That would set me free, where I can just swipe the thing, bleep the thing, and then I pay the company. They say, sure, I'll take that. I'll
Yeah, I mean,
convert it
that
right
for
now.
one board of crypto is the fucking dream. Especially
What
Hex.
credit card is that?
I know. Let's make one. We just started a loan company, and we give people little accounts that's goes through Visa. They seem pretty liberal.
Just to reinforce my point earlier, guys, like you can't ignore precious metals and things like that, because all it takes is one solar flare, one EMP, whatever the fuck it is, to wipe all that out. So, you know, you need to have skills or tangible physical assets to live.
Well, if we're talking about an end of the world scenario, gold is only practical if there's enough of a restructuring.
Not end of the world. Not end of the world, man. No, there is no end of the world.
Well, I
The
mean,
only
solar-
end of the world is the end of the world, and that's like you said, a big solar flare that turns our little Earth into like a candle.
No,
The
it
fungus
doesn't.
on the
no,
planet
no,
is over with.
Like,
It turns into a ball of fire.
like a solar flare just a solar flare can just wipe out the grids. Like it doesn't have to
It's
destroy
conspiracy theories. I
society.
like the
in that
wobble
way.
one where
That's not a conspiracy theory, my friend.
where the fluid in the Earth is the magnetic poles are going to shift, where it's going to be more negative on the top and more positive on the bottom, sort of south north.
Yeah, that's happened.
Causes the Earth to wobble. Magnetic declination
The
brings me out
equinox.
like all of these like spots on the planet that's more magnetically inclined than the other spots. It's like a unique. When you use the device, the compass, there's this magnetic declination that you have to account for.
Indeed, yes.
Back to Pulse. When are we launching? It's gonna
Pulse
be
and Hex is the gold of the digital community, or the
it
precious
has a
metal.
good following, a following that's loyal to even the sellers that want to get their Lambos real quick, even in a bear market, because they bought in pre-penny. So everything's still positive. Actually, dipping like this is less of a tax burden, because how much does a human really need? But not for
Indeed.
me. I sacrificed all my stuff at 18 cents back in the day, and I felt really good about that, because it was like 10 cents for a long time. It was like it just went up overnight, it seemed like unbelievable. Like big hitters were moving in. There was like whales all over the place moving in. We need that again. And I feel like if we went to like a rave or went to a summer festival post COVID, we got on stage, we played an entertaining thing with like shooting money or cards with crypto on it, and we say, now you have the power to go buy beer back there and buy whatever else you want with your own extra money. You just give us our cards back, and we'll give you a token that you're like a walking advertisement for us now.
I'm super happy for all you guys that sacked, man. I really am. But me, I'm happy to get in at even 0.00.
Yeah.
Even happier at 0.000.
Yeah, 000, right. I like
Oh yeah.
18-0. I like to think that the only benefit that the stackers actually got was to be a generational wallet. But if they would have saved that money, they would have been able to buy a hell of a lot more.
The benefit you guys got was fucking starting a revolution.
But now these Genesis wallet things are corrupted because
Karster?
there's hackers. That's weird. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna light an EMP off wherever you are if you don't close your mic and stop echoing in my ears.
Yeah, the
I'm
echo's
just
quite
teasing, brother.
nasty.
No, just the echoing is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you'll have plenty of time to buy Pulsechain after launch, but I don't know about 5 zeros. I think that 3 zeros would be a good starting point.
Fucking hell, yeah. You kidding?
I want it to be $190 a pulse, but that's just me because I own it.
That would
Thank
be,
you for your service.
But even if it's $1.09 or a fraction of a penny, every time there's a transaction, it gets burned, and there's less of it on the planet. And the only available pulse will be for sale from the people willing to sell it for a price. And if there's someone that wants to give that price, so be it. And they get it for that price. It's all an illusion, this market cap. It's all about how much you think it's worth and how much the next person's willing to buy it for. So if you're at a concert and you're like, here, we're going to buy t-shirts with Pulse, and it's going to be great. I'm just trying to figure out how to mass on board and while entertaining them, and they're drunk anyway. I mean, they're having a great time. It's a concert.
I'm just looking to get it at under a cent. You know what I mean? I'm happy with that, honestly. Like, under a cent, buy.
I just want a 10,000x so I can tell society to fuck off and go fishing in French Polynesia.
You might not need a 10,000x for that.
Yeah, that's very noble.
Hey guys, not to get sidetracked.
I got to make sure my kids grow up. They're only 2 and 3 now. I got 20, 30 more years. And then I just say, here's your lineage, kids. Take it from me and do it. Hopefully you have a good head on your shoulders. And by that time, there'll probably be a trust where they'll get a transfer from this wallet to that wallet that they have access to. They don't get the whole thing all at once. And I don't want to actually ever have anybody ever get it all at once. I just want to have a system that they get transferred. Maybe a bot can do it.
I just want to save some Scottish countryside. That's what I want to do.
So hey, I kind of need some help. If
I live
anybody,
more urban lifestyle and like suburbias where we have like a very it's like a quarter acre, like a quarter, like it's not real. I mean, it's pretty good amount of space, but I've been in places where there's more space. But I've been in places like condos and stuff.
What is your problem, man? Guys, you should listen to it because yeah. Can you just close your mic, please, guys?
For fuck's
Because when each of us is talking, then yeah, there is a really annoying echo. There is a guy who asked a question. He said, "Yeah, I need your help, guys." So yeah, go for it, man.
Go ahead.
hey, so I just got done like syncing stuff with Coinly and did my wallets, did my everything I guess I could that's on my phone. But on MetaMask,
Not on your phone.
that sync, it's only picking up my Ethereum mainnet coins and transactions, and it's not picking up my Binance my coins on there. It's not picking up. Do I have to switch the mainnet and sync the wallet for, or switch
Yeah,
to
sync the
like
wallet for each chain. It's the same address, but you got to go to each chain, like Binance Smart Chain. Sync each one because they're different blockchains.
okay, just checking.
And don't do
Thank you.
anything on your phone.
I know, man. I'm trying to make the transition.
Don't try, do. I was there too, man.
HEXcrypto, do you have a hardware wallet?
It comes in tomorrow. I ordered it last night.
Then I would wait to transfer everything over until you get your hardware wallet. You're more than welcome to come back and ask questions once you have that. That's your safest bet.
Yeah, I think he's
Fuck 'em
just
all.
doing his taxes right now. He's just
Oh
uploading
yeah,
his
yeah. I'm just
transactions
doing the
to
taxes.
Coinlink.
I'm not.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not doing any coins right now. He's not transferring
Okay.
anything.
I was like, fuck, dude. I'm only like 2 testnets away from being done with this shit. You know. Thank you.
Yeah, just go to add your wallets and click on blockchains and then find the chain you want to, and then just paste in your public address there, your MetaMask, and you got to do that for each blockchain that you had transactions on.
But if you follow Papa Boner's instructions, you're going to keep that address disconnected for the maximum amount of time and your wallet disconnected for the maximum amount of time, only when you do transactions.
You might also get somebody messaging you HEXcrypto to help you import or do these types of things. Just be aware that it's likely 100% a scam.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hey, do you guys disconnect your MetaMask from your Trezor once you have everything over there vaulted?
Yes.
How do you actually go about doing that? You just do it through the browser app?
Do it through the browser app. I believe you click on the 3 dots or the big one, no, and disconnect the account, and then lock your MetaMask so that every time you go in, you have to type in your password for that MetaMask front end. Always
Okay, yeah, I have
disconnect.
that going on. So I should just remove account on the Trezor once I have stuff over there on it.
Yeah, every time you're done using your Trezor with your MetaMask,
Okay.
disconnect.
Gotcha. Appreciate it.
Or should I say, remove the account.
Yeah, no worries, brother. I figured it out. I just clicked remove account. I've just never done it before, so I was kind of worried that it might mess up my hardware wallet.
Yeah, I get it, man. I've been there. Trust me. You're all good. You just connect it every time.
Hey, you there, Walrus?
Yes, sir.
I had a quick question about the sacrifice balances. I don't know if you follow the Pulsechain news website on Twitter, but it seems like they're pretty confident sac balances are done. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I haven't had any complaints in a long time except for user errors. And I don't know that they actually like 100% confirmed it, but I know that with some of the sacrifices that they weren't going to be able to attribute to a correct address, they were going to try to keep that in a pool and even try to do some corrections after mainnet. So I think they've got it pretty well polished.
Okay, cool. So whatever's left is pretty much bullshit, so to speak.
It seems like that. The tricky part is it's almost like Look at a lot of projects, like you can knock out 95% of it in an hour, and the last 5%, you're basically almost done, but it might take you 2 hours. So it's one of those things that it doesn't look there's any real overriding issues. It's just going through, checking through code from everyone that wasn't done by probably like TBC and Shane and Brett and a few of those cats, the tip top guys. So they'll go through and vet and clean things up. These things are always moving, right? Like we don't even notice most of the minor updates and tweaks that go through with Geth. So they should be in the home stretch and keep building cool stuff.
Sweet. Yeah, and I saw that the AMM bot works on V3. So that means that the only thing left to do is pretty much what was found in the audit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. The AMM bot was never really something that they weren't going to be able to do. It was a question of whether or not they could get it in the time. From the way I've understood it, it wasn't something like technical to overcome, but it is a lot of keystrokes and some level of sort of trial and error to get those parameters right. V2 is really not difficult, but the asymmetrical stuff takes a lot more kind of game theory to get it settled. So it was a lot of time more than technicality. So obviously with some of the delays and everything else, they should have that really well in hand. I wouldn't worry about the AMMs, just going through all the security and making sure that T's are crossed and I's are dotted. Doesn't look like there's anything less to really finish other than just basically finishing audit, making sure everything's tight.
I personally, I don't know a lot about it, but it seems like he's just waiting for the bottom, which is probably smart.
Yeah, this is going to be day like number 10 now that Bitcoin's been hovering around the 30,000 area, and now Bitcoin's been below 30,000 for quite a long time, almost 12 hours. So I think that another leg down is probably going to happen soon.
Yes, Bitcoin should be down around 22,000 in a few weeks.
Do you think that's the bottom, John?
I
or do you
think you're
we
right.
could be like 15,000?
I pegged 20,000 as the bottom, but when you say quote the bottom, that obviously has to take into account a spike. So we'll probably go a lot below that for a few days. But with that said, I don't think this is going to be the crypto bottom. I think we're going to get down to Bitcoin 22 with a spike down below 20 maybe. Then we are going to bounce to around 35. And then we're coming right back down to form the bottom. And that could take weeks, months.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, historically, the bottom is usually the 200-week moving average. I don't know where that is right now. I think it's like between 13 to 15,000.
I mean, 20,000 is a super hardcore level of structure.
22.
Weekly chart.
22, the 200 moving average.
I'm using the 200 as a bottom. That's right around 22 right now. It's not going to be the bottom. I guarantee you we're going to bounce and come right back down, and we're going to take out the 200-week moving average because the world is too screwed up right now. We're talking recessions, we're talking wars. It's I don't think people are ready to pile their money back into this. It's not going to be a V bottom for any market.
I agree with that. Me, I think bottom between 20K and 9K for Bitcoin.
Richard said it himself, in times of war, we need cash or some kind of physical barter. And as someone that's into survival stuff, like the biggest asset you have in survival is skills and assets, physical assets. But I'm enjoying the discount on Hex.
Cool. I'm unmuted. Anybody buying the dip?
What is the price now?
$1 million.
8.3
0,
cents.
0, 8. Yeah, 0.8332.
If there's anybody in the chat that wants to speak, if you put your hand up, I can let you into the chat.
Hey John, how are you, man? You got any limit orders set out? Any lines set out?
Sitting in my hands right now because I need to see Bitcoin go down before I can think about jumping into Hex or really almost anything.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but cool.
Wise, we're right where I want to think about buying it, but I can't bring myself to doing it because we are really, really close to a bottom, but we're not quite there yet. I'm thinking sometime in the next 3 to 6 weeks.
So you're just looking to throw all your money in at once then, yeah.
And even if you take into account Richard's timeline, like makes sense with that. I mean, he might be a little off on the time, but it seems to be right around the same time that you have for the bottom of Bitcoin.
Well, Pulsechain
He
can take a
says
month and
it's
a half.
going to
That was all we needed
10,000.
here for the sacrifice period.
Of course, that you should take any RH announcement, whether for the testnet v3 or the future mainnet, seriously. And of course, it will create basically buying pressure. So let's say, for example, you need to combine the two concepts. So let's imagine BTC hasn't finished basically its journey to the downside, didn't reach the point that you think that it should reach. And then let's imagine in the meantime there is a good basically news, a bullish basically announcement. Of course, then it's going to drive the price to the upside for Hex specifically. So yeah, for Hex specifically, it's not only the BTC, but you need to combine also if you really want to have the best price, like any announcement that RH could basically announce. See what I mean? And this is quite random, and you have no visibility on that. Yeah.
The other thing,
what's the charts? And it seems to be that to a certain degree, and also from other stuff that I've seen coming in the future with the conglomerates, that's not the right word, that have been formed, that the price has been to a degree, certainly, that I've seen controlled by the community.
What
The
do
other-
you mean? I didn't get it.
I don't know how much of the market is actually still controlled by retail investors. I know they passed a law in 2019 for banks and institutions to hold crypto. So I think a lot of what we're seeing is probably Grayscale or, other entities trying to give us the illusion that, the market is swayed by the woes of the average person.
Yeah, we're moving away from that. That's the thing. Like, Hex is a proof of stake, and I've certainly in my short experience, one thing I did notice is that during one of the biggest periods of decline in the last 2 months, the Hex community maintained the price. Obviously, now it's dropped because obviously it will follow the market, but I found that as a good sign of what the Hex community, the ecosystem, can do for the product. Like, I did see that. Like, I witnessed it in the charts, because one thing I have studied, although I don't have a great knowledge of crypto, is the charts. I can see lines, and I've followed them back through the years and seen the patterns. And one thing I did notice was during this recent decline, in one of the steepest points of it, the Hex community kept the price up, which is pretty cool.
If crypto as a whole can do a V-bottom recovery from COVID and then go on to set new all-time highs in the midst of lockdowns and compulsory vaccines, I'm optimistic that the Ukraine bullshit and the monkeypox bullshit will have little to no effect on cryptocurrency in the next 2 to 3 years.
I'll see, this is the thing. I'm looking at it more as this ecosystem and not the cryptocurrency market, because let's face it, the cryptocurrency market is just an offshoot of the fucking stock market. I mean, come on, like, it's ridiculous. I mean, I asked this question long ago in this group, which was, how do we break away from the ties to, let's say, Bitcoin, which is then tied to the stock market? How do we do that? And I didn't really get a clear answer, but I understand it clearer now, and that is within the ecosystem and proof of stake, etc., and stuff like that. Like, yeah, like, I hate all that connection to the standard market. It's something we have to move away from. It's something we have to stop talking about and considering, in my opinion.
Another very simple thing people can do, and I mentioned this several times, the people are wondering, okay, is this the bottom? Is this the bottom? You can just draw a simple line from the high of September 13th week of 2021 to the high of December 27th week of 2021 and extend that lower. And we broke through that line on April 25th to above it, to hint, to say, hey, is this the bottom? We broke the downtrend line, and now we're back below that line again, and Hex is going down. And I can tell you right now, the next time we go above that line, which today sits at 11 cents, almost 12 cents, 11.9, will probably be lower next week, and that line will be down right around 11.07. Next week will be where that line sits. So the week, in the next few weeks or so, like next 6 weeks, that we close above that line again, that is a significant bottom. How high we go, that's a whole nother question. I say mid-20s, short term. But that's going to give you the trigger. Is this the bottom? Not the bottom. It's definitely a significant bottom. As soon as we go above that trend line again, it's a very powerful pattern, and it should play out fairly well. We'll see as soon as we go above. Again, the line is currently falling. We're at, like I said, a little bit above 12 or right near 12. Next week we'll be down 11 and a quarter, 11, something like that. The week after it'll be down under 11. It's a falling line. And as soon as we get a Sunday weekly close above that line and likely, break higher the week after that, that's our trigger for a significant bottom.
I like a significant bottom.
Hey, John, can you, sorry, man, I want to ask a request. Can you maybe show us, like, on a chart, the lines you're talking about?
Sure. I'll dummy up a chart here and I'll post it in the chat. Give me a couple minutes.
Cool.
Dude.
Thanks.
I just want to see Hex, a stable coin at $1.
Yeah, that works for me. It's just crazy to see it at these prices, but it's okay. I got some orders laid out. Hopefully, I'll hit them. Is it like 8 cents, 7 cents, something like that? I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, can I ask a question about like Hex? It's basically like, is it a good time to buy? Do you guys think, or what?
Yep.
Uh-huh. But so this chart is, so it's not going to like 1 cent, you think, in your opinion?
Oh,
That limit may never get filled. I'm just saying.
No, that's a good thing. I don't want it to go that far down.
So, hey, do y'all think, is it better to have my hex on Ethereum or Polygon?
There's really no use for Hex on Polygon. You can't really stake it there. It wouldn't be seen in the snapshot. So you would definitely want to hold it on Ethereum, at least for a length of time.
Yeah, you're right, dude. Fuck. So only Ethereum is getting snapshotted?
ERC20s. All ERC20s.
Ah.
So if my Hex
Not
isn't MetaMask, will it automatically be duplicated? Do I have to do anything?
No.
so
And just as a
I
note
can
that,
answer that question.
sorry, I was just going to say that Ethereum will be copied 1-to-1. So don't hold a ton of Ethereum thinking you'll get a bunch of Pulse tokens for Ethereum.
So I want to answer a couple things, and then H, I know you're a newer cat, so you don't really want to say that we're snapshotting Ethereum for a couple of reasons. It's a system state copy, And that's how all of these things come over. That's why all the smart contracts and liquidity and all those things. I'm not nitpicking your words. I'm just informing you so that, you know, as you're going along, sometimes that vocab gets really messy. And then to Matt's question, it's the same thing I was just explaining to H. It's not like an traditional airdrop. It's an actual system state copy. So wherever those coins and tokens are located, they're going to be in the same place on Pulsechain. So as long as they're in a address, a wallet that you own the keys to, then you'll have access to them on Pulsechain. Doesn't matter what software wallet you're using, or if you have a ledger or any of those things. As long as it's a wallet you control, you'll be able to access them on Pulsechain.
Cool, thank you. But so does my money double also, or if I sell PHEX, my EHEX also goes down?
So the tokens copy, not their fiat value. And then after that, so there's that's why it's called a fork, right? So essentially everything is the same until this fork in the road, and now they go different directions. So everything that's happening right now, when Pulse goes live, everything that happens before that event will be copied over. But once the fork comes, it's literally, they go their own separate directions. They're no longer correlated to each other. So you could sell your PHEX, you could sell your EHEX. They'll have different prices. They'll be completely separate after that.
Got it. Thanks.
So
Hey
you
guys,
you're saying that my Polygon, sorry, dude, you're saying that my Polygon hex is going to be copied over, or is it just ERC20? I'm trying to really wrap my brain around what he just said, because one dude was saying that it has to be on Ethereum, and then from what I understand from Walrus is it doesn't matter if it's on a different mainnet.
No, it matters. It can be
I'm
in
pretty
any
sure it has
wallet.
to be
That's what I
Ethereum.
was saying. It has to be on. It does have to be on Ethereum, because that hex actually, I'm gonna get a little technical. So that hex actually does exist on Ethereum, because that's where it's actually at. It's actually in the bridge contract that brought it over to Polygon. So when you have to bring it back over and hold it. So technically, whoever runs that bridge is actually going to have the copy, because that's where it exists on Ethereum. So you need to bring that hex back across the bridge and have it on Ethereum, so that you actually have own the hex in a wallet and get the copy.
Damn, dude, I don't know how to do that, and I know it's complicated, dude. To take my hex off of Polygon and put it on Ethereum, because I can't necessarily just send my hex from Polygon to the Ethereum mainnet to my other hex over there.
It's not too difficult to bridge. You can do a little looking on it. Remember that we're not launching the next 2 or 3 days. You have some time to look at it. And if it's too complicated, you can always just, basically sell and then rebuy, right? If that's easier, you can look at some of the cost and outweigh it. And if you think you're going to have too much trouble bridging, it's not especially difficult.
I'm Googling right now.
Hey guys,
Bridge
that
he would
48
need
hours.
to use to move his money from Polygon to Ethereum network. What bridge would he use for that? To move his hex from Polygon to Ethereum?
I did this just the other day using the Polygon wallet, which has a built-in bridge, and that was quite easy. So if you want to find that, just go to Quick Swap, and then there's a bridge icon or button in the top right-hand corner of that, and that bridge button directs you to the Polygon sort of wallet suite. So you go Bridge, Matic, POS, and from there you'll be able to select the bridge. Once you connect your MetaMask, you'll be able to interact with that contract by just entering how many tokens you want to send across. It will take about sort of 3 hours to process to hit a checkpoint. So once you engage with the bridge, you would wait for it to confirm that transaction is ready to be released on the Ethereum side. So you would pay the cost on Polygon, and then you leave that up in your browser And when it's ready at the checkpoint, you would then pay for the next portion of the transaction for it to be removed or released to you on Ethereum. So quite simple. It's straightforward when you're using that program, but I think if you just even do your research on it and just look at that, don't actually engage with it straight away, you should be able to find it's fairly self-explanatory.
Who was the person that asked that question? I missed the name.
Maybe me. I'm not too sure.
Are you the one that has Hex on the Polygon finance?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna
Dang, they're keeping
DM
tabs.
you. Pardon me? I'm gonna DM you the instructions to do that, just so you know that I'm gonna DM you right now.
Thanks, Tam.
Thank you.
Hey guys, that 48 hours or so before mainnet goes live, we're able to buy Pulse and swap tokens for it, yeah?
Correct. Any assets that are actually on Pulsechain. And Tam, will you send me that DM as well, just so I have that handy in case we have someone else that needs it?
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty detailed information. So connecting MetaMask, the whole shalada. So it's pretty good.
Tam,
Very
can I
cool.
ask, is
Thank
that
you.
using the same bridge I was just explaining or a different one?
Sorry, say that again.
I was just wondering if that's the same bridge that I was describing just before using the Matic POS bridge through Polygon Wallet.
It is a POS bridge, but I just posted it in the group chat.
Sweet. I'll have a look. Just same as Walrus, just for referring to other people in the future. I'd like to have, that'd be good to have a nice information base.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to hear a woman's voice in the chat for a change.
Walrus, what are
Okay.
your thoughts? Oh, sorry, John, you go.
I just posted that chart in the chat so everybody can kind of look at what I'm talking about with this simple trend line break. Once we get above that white line again, we should start a multi-week bottom. You'll see that it teased us a few weeks ago and broke above that. And I had said at the time, I said, we need 2 weeks that are green weeks above that line. And we only got one of them and then slammed right back down to where we are today. I'm going to kind of speculate and say the next time we go above it, we won't need 2 full weeks of green. I think if it's a good solid close towards the top of a candle above that white line, that could be enough to trigger a multi-week bottom, which would be verified. Obviously, the next week would probably 99% probability that that also ends up being a green candle. But again, we're still going down and, it could be 2 or 3 more weeks before we find a bottom and then start trying to go back above that white line again. But that white line is key. That will give us the reassurance of, okay, guys, this is a bottom. I'm not going to say it's the bottom, because if we bounce at 5 and go up to 20, I still think we'll probably come back down and test 5 and possibly break it. If we go, my God, if we go down to like 4, 3, 2, 1, something like this, then then I'll have to rethink things to the possibility that, whoa, wait a minute, this might be a V bottom. Right now, I don't think we'll get a V bottom, but the further lower we go, the higher probability of a V bottom, which would be pretty incredible because then within a year, we would probably see an all-time high on HEX within a year. So yeah, the lower the HEX goes, the higher the probability of a V bottom.
And how do you think that the bottom of HEX ties in with the launch of Pulsechain?
Well, again, I kind of addressed that several weeks ago, where this is kind of like an energy thing. You know, everybody starts sensing shit all at the same time. People start buying. I can see that there's a little more volume than normal coming into HEX over the last week or two than has come in the last 2 months. So people are anticipating it, and human nature in general anticipates this shit in advance. We anticipate the bottom. We can't pick the exact bottom because nobody knows. But collectively as humans, we do know, because it's there, it's seen in the amount of volume that comes in and buys stuff. People start buying stocks, they start buying crypto, and then there's a capitulation, and then you see mass buying, and that usually signals the bottom. So we are sensing this, and yeah, that's the timing of the launch of Pulse. It's not, it's in nobody's hands. I mean, even Richard doesn't know the time yet, but we all sense it, and so it's kind of timing out to what we think it's going to be. So yeah, we're getting close. That's why I'm thinking it's got to be before July, sometime in June for a crypto bottom, and for the launch of Pulse and a HEX bottom. And again, I'll stress that if we just kind of inch lower, it's not going to be the bottom. There's going to be another bottom after a significant bounce. You'll probably see a double, let's see, triple, or I'm going to say between 300 and 400% move up
when
on
you get a
HEX.
chance. Sorry.
Did you say
When
a
you get a chance,
400% move on HEX?
what do you think about this year and last? Sorry. What
Yeah,
do
dude.
you think about this year and last year's what is it? May's move? What do they say? Sell in May, walk away.
No, because if you look at last May, it didn't do that. It came down a little bit. It just kind of went sideways, and then it went through the moon. So we're kind of out of that normal loop of, okay, what seasonally will happen during this time? With the exception is we haven't really had an October bottom in years. And I feel very strongly that we are going to get a classic September, October markets bottom this year. And that's why I say that the current bottom that's forming is not going to be the bottom. But yeah, the other dude asked, for 300 to 400%. That's what I see happening in HEX. I see a move up into the 20s easily.
When? Do you have a time frame for that, if you don't mind?
So like I said, this is pure guess speculation, but very highly experienced, just from a charting perspective and from a macro emotional market perspective. I feel we are I can't see this going past June, the end of June, before we hit a bottom, not the bottom, but a bottom that's going to be worth 300 or 400% on Hex. And it could happen at 5 cents. It could happen at 1.5 cents. If it happens at 1.5 cents, you can look at a 1000x. I mean, a 1000% return, 10x. If we get down that low, you're going to get 10x within weeks. From 5, I can see us going up to 25, 20, something like that, 300 to 500% return. And
what
then
do you
back
think about a November high?
How many
the
X is 500%?
X is 500%.
Say that you broke up. Sorry.
X would be 500%.
I'm saying how many X's is that though? Is that 50X?
I don't know. 5X is 500%. So if we're at 5, if Hex goes down to 5 cents, we should go up to 25, which is 500%, and that's 5X.
Gotcha. Appreciate it.
Well, as soon as Pulsechain launches, it's going to change the sentiment in the Hex community. So people are going to be a lot less anxious. The haters will probably crawl back into their corners, and I think things will be positive, obviously for Pulsechain. But yeah, people will start buying Hex again with a little more confidence.
Exactly, which is why another kind of speculative opinion is I kind of think, even though we're all waiting for that Bitcoin 20,000 or lower, I kind of think Hex is going to bottom before Bitcoin, like a couple of days or a week or something, only because of Pulsechain. If Pulsechain wasn't happening, I would normally say, nope, Hex is not bottoming until after Bitcoin bottoms. But something tells me this time around, we are going to catch, because I'm already seeing the buying in Hex. It's not huge, but it's enough to say, okay, guys are waking up. They're starting to buy this. But you're going to see a week where we see just a ton of volume, 50, 100 million Hex bought in 1 week. Or whatever it is, just a huge amount of volume where the price doesn't like double, triple up. It's just like, wow, well, where'd all this volume come from? How come the price didn't go to the moon? Well, it didn't go to the moon because the smart people, I shouldn't call them smart, the assholes who are manipulating this down have scared enough of the frightened speculators. Those are non-hexicans, those are non-stakers, those are speculators. They've frightened them out of the market. They've scooped up all their Hex. They own it all, and now the price can rise naturally. And at that point, the guys who I see this every single day, guys, because I'm a day trader. The guys who threw in the towel on Hex at 5 or wherever it is, maybe 13, those guys start jumping back in because they don't want to miss the boat. And that's what takes us from 10 to 25 in days, or from 5 to 20. It's the guys who fear missing out, and they're not long-term guys. They're speculators who freaked out, got scared out of their positions, and now they want to jump on the bandwagon again. So that's I just think that Hex will possibly bottom out before everything else because of Pulsechain. That I think he's going to launch that in June.
The only difference here is we have like a community here that has a group of people that are looking and gathering together to protect against that type of thing.
Hey, John.
We've got the community, but we need the Pulsechain because that is going to be instant mass adoption. When people find out that they have free money sitting there in their wallets that they don't even know about, they're going to jump on the Pulsechain and they're going to say, well, shit, what is this? And HEX, my God, what is this? And then you're going to have a lot of adoption.
That's true, but also the Ethereum hex had issues with gas fees. I think if it wasn't for Ethereum's gas fees, Hex could have had an all-time high of maybe $1.50. But now that Pulsechain comes out and people can transact for significantly less on Pulsechain with PHEX, then and it'll reduce load on Ethereum, then yeah, that's gonna also contribute massively.
Hey John, is this basis in regards to Pulsechain launching? Or are you saying that it'll go to 25 cents irregardless?
I'm kind of basing that just on Pulsechain, but at the same time, I'm basing it on an overall crypto bottom. If we start getting a spike down of Bitcoin down to 22,000, 21,000, that's enough for people to pile into it. And HEX is going to, that's crypto. HEX is all part of the game. So HEX is going to benefit from that also, regardless of Pulsechain.
You got hold on a second, John. Chaztown, you got a bad habit of leaving your mic open. Please mute yourself when you're not talking because we're getting echoes from everybody. I'm going to unmute you now, but you got your hand raised, which makes it seem like you're not getting the message. So can you please press mute when you're not talking?
Thanks, Papa. I was looking for him too, and I couldn't find it.
Cool.
The dude that had asked about Hex 25, again, just basic stupid charting shit. When you see, again, if you draw that trend line, or if you look in the chat that I posted that chart, when you see our price go above that, we don't know if it's going to be above it at 11, 10 next week, 9.5 the week after. As soon as we close above that line, the high that we made 3 weeks ago, which is right around 20, I think, they're going to gun for that and they're going to take it out. And that's why I say that 25 is in play very quickly. And if that lines up with if that lines up with the pulse going live, the sky is the limit for that then.
I'm looking at it this way. If I can get Pulse for 2 zeros, even better, 3 zeros, then god damn it, I'm happy. I didn't get none sacrifice.
We'll be able to get Pulse for 3 zeros.
I'll be a happy man. I'll be a happy man if I can get 3 zeros on Pulse. Happy man.
I'm kind of stuck trading into Pulse, so I'm going to have to watch it immediately and possibly watch it for days.
No, I'm the same. Like I've not sacked for Pulse, but if I can get 3 zeros, I'm fucking happy, man. Like this is a long game shit. Like if you can get 3 zeros on anything that you have confidence is gonna go to like $1, then fuck, man. Like, it's a no-brainer. Like I said, I'll take 2 zeros, man. I'll take 2 zeros.
0015.
3 zeros would actually be the initial sacrifice price technically. So I don't know if that'll happen, but I think
Yeah, I
2
think it's
zeros.
zeros. 301, 3 zeros and 1 3, I think was the original sacrifice price, if I'm right. So I ain't hoping to get that, but
Well, earlier we're talking about ratios, and it kind of popped into my head. I think we're going to be between 2.3 and 3.4 PulseX for Pulse.
yeah, I don't do math too well.
Well,
A
John,
little-
with this question, I was keen to ask, and to Walrus was on kind of the trend, but so we've got this kind of 24-hour to 48-hour period for ratio swapping. Now, in terms of, I know there's a few other projects that are going to be acting as a DEX and potential bridge that could be launching prior to that time frame. So what occurs if someone else does launch their own project to be able to bridge onto the chain or and then be able to transact? Obviously, the price feeds are going to be different, given I'm unsure of what oracles are going to be developed on Pulsechain itself right from the beginning. So if PulseX is its own sort of price feed and someone starts up its own project to be able to bridge and transact on that DEX, well, how that might interrelate between everything, where you can trade for a dollar value on certain tokens, but then you wouldn't be able to bridge, you wouldn't be able to go and trade them within PulseX because it's not getting a price feed of that value over there. So it's I guess it's a very short time window where maybe this isn't going to occur, but I'm interested to hear people's thoughts on what might happen given the scenario.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that I just see myself sitting on my hands for days, literally, just watching this stuff and enjoying it.
So you would be able to trade, and okay, so it is possible someone else could open up a bridge sort of before that time frame. I would encourage people not to use it. One, there's no telling whose bridge it is, and they're doing something that in general I think like most people would feel is malicious, or at least not in the best interest of the community. So if we're starting with the presupposition that they're doing that, then I'm probably not that trustworthy of them or their code. So I mean, again, everyone can take the risk they choose, but I would not want to operate on that bridge. If they do, likely there's not enough volume moved over to really establish a true dollar value. It would take a pretty good chunk, but I guess it's still possible technically. PulseX doesn't need an oracle because it doesn't have to derive its prices from anywhere else. It just, the prices are there, right? It is a DEX itself, so it is an oracle. That doesn't need one. And then if you have pools where it doesn't matter if another pool sort of has a fiat value, because that fiat value isn't real. It's just your user interface, right? So that price is just a derivative over what those ratios are, and that's how everything swaps anyway. So even though we all see dollar values on Uniswap, Uniswap doesn't see those dollars, and neither does Ethereum. Like that's just something for the user interface for us because we derive that price from there. It doesn't actually change anything about the operation. So if you have
No.
pools, and you will see the multiple pools where they're separate, that don't have connecting, and you'll just have arbitrage opportunities between them.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because if one has that sort of set dollar value, the arbitrage then potential, because tokens are going to be traded at a different ratio of token to token on that alternative DEX, and then could be then returned to PulseX and traded for a better, worse ratio, etc. I'm interested to hear about the Oracle situation for PulseX though, because if it's in itself its own price feed and Oracle, what happens when other protocols are expanding on Pulsechain itself and like have something else going on there? Is that's going to somewhat lead to extensive arbitrage, as there isn't a sort of universal Oracle to tie everything together?
No, I mean, that's just how markets work, right? So most of those protocols will actually use PulseX as an oracle because it'll be the largest DEX on there. And even if one of those, in the original part, even if one of those pools has some fiat value, that actually doesn't matter, because that fiat value is still based on a ratio, and you would just have the ARB opportunity whether or not either one sort of gave you a user interface value of $1 or whatever it was. So it's just still a standard ARB opportunity. And then what was the other part? Yeah, there'll be multiple oracles. Most people prefer to use the DEXs, and then there'll be multiple oracles. There's a few other third parties that want to build separate oracles to help with stability when it comes to feed, especially for anything that has a collateral or a margin call, things like that, where you want multiple price feeds to make sure that you don't ever have sort of blips that can cause failures in the system.
Yeah, cool. No, I was never worried about a dollar value. I guess I'm just using that reference probably inappropriately here, but yeah, the arbitrage sort of thing between those ratio trades from another DEX or another bridge opening up. Yeah, I just think that's probably interesting. Like John, though, I'm going to sit back and watch and see what unveils. But if position presented itself, I guess you're not going to turn it down if there's some crazy arbitrage on offer, because those liquidity pools are going to be thin, so the price is going to move quickly one way or the other if anyone was to start something like that up.
For sure. And a lot of times whenever there's one that was an interesting question, so a lot of times when there's an interesting question, I'll usually answer in long form just because everyone's listening.
No, sounds good. Cheers, man.
Cheers, brother.
Hey, Rawlis.
Yes, sir.
Before you sign off for the day, can you give me a heads up that I can get you for a couple minutes?
Sure can.
How are things going with you and your recovery?
Much, much, much better. A little groggy just because I didn't sleep very well and got creaky, but I got in a light workout and everything today. 100%, just shaking off the rust now.
Very good. Not many people can bounce back from a penis enlargement, surgery like you can.
Just trying to be more like RH every day.
Didn't have to one up him by like vying for the 2 Red Bull size. That was ridiculous, but you do you.
Really? Really?
I have to apologize, man. There's so little we can do about Papa B.
Oh my God.
When it comes to recovery work, that's where I specialize, so feel free to hit me up, man. I'll give you any advice you need.
Oh, appreciate it, brother. I was getting one of the popular medicines for popular things that are unpopular and don't do the things they claim. But either way, it was worse than having what the medicine was intended for, but I'm good.
That was a fantastic description.
Just because again, it's an interesting thing that a lot of people have brought up to Merch's question earlier about some of the ARB. Where I think you'll likely see most of those ARB events is actually in the stable coins, because those are likely to be radically dumped in some places. And that's where I actually think we'll see a lot of the ARB is in the non-PulseX cloned, the non-PulseX cloned stablecoin pools is where we're likely to see a lot of ARB.
Are you familiar with the programmatical techniques you needed to do that?
I'm familiar in that luckily being part of How to Pulse means I'm surrounded by smart people, so I'm close to them in that sense.
Yeah. No, I've just been trying to do my own code for that and having some little hiccups on the way. So interesting, but yes, there'll be some good opportunity there if it does present itself for any window of time, or if everything automated just front runs people.
Yeah, the arbitrage is one of those things where most people won't really, it's kind of a difficult game, but I like going into it occasionally because I think it takes some of the mysticism out of what the AMM is doing, how some of the markets work, and sort of like what bots do. I think sometimes we, if we can't explain something, it's a miracle now. And like 200 years ago, it was magic. And now that we're in crypto, if we can't explain something, it's a bot. So I always like kind of digging into some of those things. A lot of times it just kind of takes some of the mysticism out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the more understanding you have, the less magical the things become.
That was a cool analogy.
Yep. Analogies and translation is my role in the community.
Hey, Walrus, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
DMing somebody by the first name.
Broke up just a little. All I heard was DMing something first name and then didn't hear the name. Can you hear me now, Tam?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go out and go back in because it's really low on my phone, and I've been having this issue for a couple of weeks now. So just bear with me a sec.
Yep, no worries.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes, I heard that you were DMing someone with the first name and then didn't hear anything after that.
Okay, I just was curious if you were DMing a gentleman by the name of Alan, first name.
No, he just said a message in the main chat there that said like, "Hey, Walrus," and then that's it. I've never DM'd him.
Okay, so there is a scammer right now using your name. So just so everyone's aware, Walrus does not send out direct messages. So if you're getting a message from a person impersonating Walrus, it's not the real Walrus.
And there are so many fake walruses. There's even fake Twitter walruses.
Oh my God, I know. I get messages all the time. Hey, Tam, did you DM me on another account? And yeah, no. So yeah, I just want to make people aware it's actually happening right now. Walrus, by chance, are you in admin chat?
Nope, not in there anymore.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to look, but there is a walrus. I got a screenshot of a walrus that has the name on the right hand side that says admin. So now I'm kind of concerned. I'm gonna forward this to you.
Let me look. I think I still actually have admin in PulseX. I don't pay that much attention. Let me go look real quick. But I don't have it in here or any other room.
She's saying there's another admin walrus in another channel.
I just want to say, I mean, not that I want to be inundated with direct messages because I do get a number of them and it's fine because I'm here to protect the community as much as I possibly can. But if you guys are concerned about a DM message that you're getting or someone's telling you to click on a link or anything like that, first and foremost, please don't do that. Secondly, if I'm online and you guys have a question about something, please DM an admin and ask them directly. Admins will not DM you unless it's on chat and say, hey, I'm Mr. Smith, I'm going to DM you right now. So you know it's that person. So it's not like, you know, you just be very, very wary, be very, very, very careful. And if you do have a question, please reach out to an admin before you make any rash decisions or click on any links or anything like that.
Hello, hello. How's everyone doing tonight?
Very good. Thanks, KG. Thanks for the dulcet tones coming through.
What's up, merch? Sorry, thanks for the what?
Dulcet tones, the soothing voice.
You're welcome, man. How are you doing tonight?
Well, it's 2 in the arvo for me, and yeah, just sort of grinding through the work week.
I hear that. I really do. You know, the interesting thing about the work week grind. Well, first of all, can you hear does my mic sound okay?
Clear as mud.
Cool. So not clear at all?
Nah, it's good. But I don't know why. Everyone says that saying to me all the time. I feel like they say it backwards, but you're very clear.
Cool. Yeah, the interesting thing about like the average worker is, or at least the average job, is it's a continuous grind with no real end in sight. And it's like planting trees over and over again and continuing to move to a different area before you ever experience the fruit of those labors. It's just planting the trees and not eating the fruit.
It's a rat race.
Exactly.
You're planting trees for somebody else. That's what you're doing at a job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like the king says, "Hey, go to my garden over here, plant that tree. Go to my garden in this other country, plant that tree, but don't you dare eat."
Yep.
Well, they'll feed you enough to keep you alive so you can plant the next tree.
Modern day slavery.
What's up, Alcimac? How you doing tonight, bro?
What's up, man? I'm good. Just been doing a lot of reading, doing a lot of listening, and just trying to learn off everyone that's talking.
I hear that. I've been in here for a while, just listening.
Yeah, man. The apparently the time to chime in is right after work, man. It's apparently the hot time where a lot of well-known guys like to shed off on their day and answer questions very intelligently. I feel like I learned a lot today.
That's so cool, man. That's once again, this is what I like about this community. You know, you just jump on here, turn it on, you know, wait patiently, listen, and you'll walk away with some very valuable knowledge.
That and protection, security. A lot of guys very informational about that and even convinced me to, switch things around, just because.
Hey, that's so true. Ever since I started getting into crypto in January, I've been trying to get my wife to at least take a look at it. Been trying to pique her interest, and just me listening to this channel, and having people talk. For example, yesterday we were driving around, and I had this on, and Papa was talking, and he was, going into detail about, stuff he goes into detail, and I know that my wife has heard it before, but yesterday she was obviously paying attention because we were in the car together. But for the first time ever, she was like, "Oh wow, this is really cool. That they're like helping the community and they're like teaching you, how to be safe." And I think Papa was talking about somebody was asking questions about doing this on the phone and stuff like that, and he went into detail like with what happened in Hex 19. So my wife was hearing all that, and it was pretty cool to see her like be interested in it, and little by little, it's like starting to pique her interest, and that's the part that I think is so cool. Like she said, anybody can just come on here, turn this thing on and just literally learn, and like this is very important information, like how to protect yourself, what to do, what not to do. So, I think it's amazing, and I always go on these chats and talk about how awesome it is, but here I am repeating myself.
And I think that's what drives away newcomers onto crypto is the safety of it all, In the beginning, they're more skeptical, not to see the potential.
Oh yeah. And so much of crypto too is it, it is hard to approach. Like the ones who are here now that make it through the weeds, the lucky ones. Maybe we're the techie people that we know. If you compare yourself to your family and friends, maybe you're the techie one of the bunch. Right now, crypto really is not approachable by the masses. I'd say Coinbase is probably the most user friendly crypto technology out there. And even still, it can be kind of clunky and overwhelming. So everyone here, they're on the forefront of the movement. And especially for the Pulse Chain community, it's incredible because where else can you go in crypto? Jump on a live chat 24/7, 365, and talk to a real human being and not only get educated, but get stimulated conversationally.
So I don't know if you guys have ever bridged your Polygon tokens back over to Ethereum on the Polyscan dealio. Uh, so I'm in the process of doing that, and I'm just wondering if I exit out of the window and shut off my computer, it's not gonna like kind of hiccup, you know?
Which token you sending across? Are you doing it with Hex?
Yeah, I'm sending my hex over back to Ethereum. Um,
Yeah.
Like
So
the only
you
reason why I got
you
the Hex was because it was cheaper, like in gas and everything, over at Polygon. Excuse me.
yeah, well, you've picked a good time to be bridging because the gas fees are all right, so you'll come out still okay. And so you've engaged with the POS bridge and you've made the first transaction, and it's now waiting for the sort of 3 hours for it to get to a checkpoint.
Yeah, I'm on that.
Yep. So,
Almost halfway.
yep. So typically you want to keep that window or that browser open so that you can then engage with the next step, which is to release it to your wallet on the Ethereum side. I have previously stuffed this up and closed the window accidentally. There is a way you can sort of proceed with that transaction if you do so. So it won't be completely lost if you, for some reason, close that and it goes down.
Okay, so I don't have to. It initialized maybe an hour ago, so I don't have to wait for a midpoint of withdrawal initiated, all that. I can come back tomorrow and kind of reboot this thing, if you will.
You can if you want. I think it's cleaner and easier just to leave it open and then make the next step of the transaction. But if you are concerned or you're tired and wanting to go to bed, sort of thing, and do it tomorrow, it is possible. I'll just quickly there's a specific website to complete the transaction if you've lost it on that browser. I'm just getting the exact website and I can drop it in the chat for you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just leave it open, man, without trying to get too much hassle when I wake up,
I found it here, HEXcrypto. So if for some reason you did stuff it up, or not, I'm not saying stuff it up, if you close the browser or whatever, you can go to withdraw.polygon.technology and you put your transaction hash in there and it will finalize that the bridging process.
Can you DM me that, please?
Yeah, if you would like me to DM, I can do that now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally cool. I'm not too freaked out.
No problem. Again, it's just the website that I actually got from the Polygon support team. So just check it out yourself. But yeah, it's not a malicious link, but I'll send it through to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
My point exactly. Merch, nice work, bro. You try to search that on the internet, you would have been searching for days.
Yeah, I couldn't find it when I was in that position. So I think having a community where you can pass on little like life hacks and issues that you ran into previously, this is why this Pulsechain community is so awesome. Again, I was trying to do it all programmatically and do it on the back end myself, and then eventually just get handed the precise website to do it. You're like, oh my gosh, it's so much easier. HEXcrypto, you got the link I sent you?
Yes, sir. I did.
No
I
problems.
did.
Just wanted to chat. Cheers.
Just can you still stake Hex?
What do you mean by that?
Like on the how to Hex, I'm kind of looking at it. Can you still stake it?
You can, if you're just saying Hex in general, yes, Hex is still stakeable. And if you're meaning the Polygon Hex that you're bridging across, it will become the normal Hex or the current Hex on Ethereum. Yes, you will be able to stake it.
Awesome, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Papa B, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Serious question for you. Are you feeling hard or soft tonight?
Harder than granite.
Nice.
And yourself?
I'm feeling pretty good. Had a good night with the family. Uh, Actually borrowed the Oculus virtual reality goggles from my brother. That was a crazy experience. I was stabbing people in the face in this medieval game. It was crazy. Uh, so yeah, processing that a little bit, but overall doing good. Thanks for asking.
A little bit of e-violence can do a person a world of good.
Oh yeah, it was so crazy. I was in the metaverse, I guess, for 30, 45 minutes, and when I got out, I was like hit with waves of my vision and the feelings that it, I don't know. It's like my realities were kind of crossed a little bit. It was a weird sensation.
Back when I was in high school, they promised us Lawnmower Man virtual reality, and it died. And it's only come back, recently. And I was just wondering if it's really going to catch on or not.
I love that movie, man. Have you watched it recently, though?
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. I
Or
tried to.
yeah, unwatchable. But as a kid, I absolutely loved it.
Have you seen War Games recently?
I have not.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Does it hold up? No,
Oh
clearly not.
no, no, it doesn't. Matthew Broderick typing in random keys into a keyboard and hacking into NORAD. It's awesome.
Yeah, there's some that really hold up. Like if you watch, Forrest Gump, still holds up. Even the visual effects. There's a couple of them that are just solid movies. But yeah, I'm definitely I'll watch. I love that movie too. Or games.
I'm sorry, I meant Horror Games, which was the triple X version.
Oh, but that one should definitely hold up.
Oh, it holds up all right. I was eating sushi last night with my wife, um, and of all things, over the piped-in music into the sushi restaurant comes the theme from the movie Brazil, which is my all-time favorite, you know, dystopian masterpiece by Terry Gilliam. And out of nowhere, Brazil starts playing, and I'm like, what are the chances? Such a random song to be playing. It's so cheesy and wonderful, and I think I was the only person in the entire restaurant that knew what that music was all about. And I just grabbed my wife, I shook her, I'm like, this is Brazil. She says, yeah, okay, relax.
We're living in the Matrix, man.
There is evidence of this.
Oh, really? I did not know that. Please enlighten me.
I keep chasing the woman in red.
Oh man, I was gonna say my favorite scene in war games is when that the older guy's flying a remote pterodactyl or something like that. Am I remember that correctly?
Yes. Yes.
Fucking love that scene, man. I love it. I wanted one when I was a kid. Same thing. I never got my remote flying pterodactyl. Very upset about it.
Pulsechain solves this.
I know. I can't. I can't fucking wait, man. I really can't. Have you guys seen that? Apparently, there's a new movie talking about multiverse, Matrix type thing. I think it's called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, or something like that. Apparently, got good reviews. In other words, I want to see it.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Only at
Something
select
like
theater.
that. Yeah. Right. Right. uh,
We haven't gotten it over here in Japan yet.
you got to come home to the motherland, man.
I'm trying. Pulsechain solves this.
Then I'll finally make my way over to the Big Island, and we'll have a beer.
Oh yeah. Kona Brewhouse. Probably have that on tap.
Hey, Papa,
I'm
how you
all
doing?
in.
Hey Jake, and there, how you doing, man?
I'm not eating a hot dog.
Oh,
But I did onboard somebody else today. Isn't that cool?
yeah, man. You saved another life,
Or gave him life. Amen.
and you got him on the right track with a hardware wallet day one, right?
Well, kinda. I'm not gonna lie to you, no. But they're into Pulsechain and PulseX, and we'll get them onboarded correctly.
They ordered their hardware wallet today, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. Which one did you choose for them?
Are you kidding me? It ain't Ledger.
Right on.
Hey Thor, what's up, brother?
Oh, loving life. Just about to go into sauna.
You've had many conversations when you're in there. LOL.
It's heating up, man. Got to get it to that 180.
We're gonna be blessed, brother. Hey Thor, it's funny because some people on here make fun of me because I say that. But I'll tell you what, if you're in this HR projects, at some point they will be. I gotta tell you.
#blessed.com, baby.
Amen.
So I was on here earlier, but I was like half listening. What's been going on Twitter today? Apparently there was some Twitter sword fight going down or something like that. Twitter beefs. Can anyone fill me in on this latest drama on Twitter?
That's the great thing about Twitter. You can open it up, click on a person, and see their tweets.
Yeah, I saw Richard's tweet about something like he or along the lines of he was appalled by some of the things he read on Twitter, and then he ranted off some other stuff about, getting this stuff done and getting stabbed in the back or something like that. I didn't
Yeah,
know what he,
yeah. I
I
mean,
didn't know what he was
we can
referring
all
to.
do a better job of backing the man up.
Hey man, he's got I got his back, bro. But I don't know what he was referring to. I didn't know what it was about.
I think it was Jakeinator's fault.
Of course it was Jake Nader. What? Should have known that.
Thor, be nice, brother.
Cracking jokes, bro. It's just jokes.
Hey, Thor,
Yeah, anyways.
another gentleman here from Southern California, and he's gonna meet up with us here soon. Kind of cool. He's smart like you.
Oh, I'm retarded, man. Don't.
Hey guys, quick question, off topic about um, identity theft. What do y'all think about TurboTax's monitoring identity theft? like in their thing, and apparently one of the packages that I paid for monitors my email, my phone number, my driver's license, like everything it monitors. Now it says it finds some of my old information on the dark web, but I don't know. I mean, essentially having a wallet on an IO, I mean, is that considered dark web? You know, connecting to these sites with my hot wallet.
What? Wait. What? Where do you have a wallet?
I already know, dude. Tomorrow I'm getting my hardware wallet. I already know.
All right. All right.
No,
By the
I heard
way,
it clear, man.
these alerts are just alerts. You understand that when they say we've detected something, the next thing it says is now go to all your institutions where you have linkage to any of this personal information and go about locking it down. That's all it does.
I'm just afraid if I put more information that they already know, like if I apply myself on TurboTax and put down everything that they want to kind of monitor, in a sense, am I exposing myself just doing that to that entity? You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, I think if you're in crypto, you've outgrown TurboTax. So why aren't you getting a CPA?
I'm looking into that. I'm looking into that. But this is like a package that I previously paid for. I mean, it's already there for my disposal. I just, having second thoughts of putting all of my information out there, even though it is TurboTax. But I mean, anybody can be
How
hacked,
much?
you know.
How much? Let me ask you something. How much did you spend for this thing that you don't want to walk away from?
What do you mean on TurboTax?
Yes.
I don't know. It was like a deluxe package, all wrapped up into
How
one. I
much?
got, man, I don't know, like $40, $50.
Walk
Nothing
away.
too
Go get a CPA.
All right, man. That's tomorrow's Google searches. Good CPAs.
Yep. Find one, interview them, see if you feel comfortable with them. Tell them what you do with crypto, specifically Hex and Pulse, sacrifice, staking. See if they understand a little bit of something about that. Run through the entire scheme the way you think it should be taxed. Find out if they're on the same page. And if they aren't, on to the next CPA.
Yes,
And
sir.
don't
Thank
be
you.
cheap about it. Understand these guys are going to cost you a lot more than what you paid in TurboTax, but they're going to save you infinite amounts, especially if you get audited. That's why you need somebody like that on your side.
Yeah, that totally need somebody that knows the language. Language nowadays is a double-edged sword.